All right, we're live. Hello, everybody. We are so glad that you guys are here with us. So happy Tuesday. Welcome to episode 22, I believe, of the Business and Learning Show.
Yes.
So our mission is to bring you, the small business owner, education and inspiration to sustain and grow your business. So for more information on this episode and to learn even more, head on over to businessandlearning.com. So how are you, Alaina?
I'm doing well, and I think probably better than you because
Yes.
you're like 3 days into empty nest.
Yes. We dropped her off on Friday, and there were tears, mostly for me. I held it together until the last moment when we were about to leave. But I'll be honest, it was tough. I thought I was going to throw up several times in the morning. It was just like, it's coming, and you just like, she accommodated her mama very well. We went and did this and that, and anything I said, hey, do you want to do this? And she was like, yeah, we can do that. When I'm sure on the inside, she's like, just leave, woman.
Get out of here.
But she's been texting me, and I actually got to talk to her on the phone last night, and she's coming home this weekend to pick up stuff or visit, or I don't know what she's doing. But I will get to see her this weekend, so I'm very, very happy that she's close enough. I can see my girl and give her a hug. But it's weird.
Yes.
It's weird.
I'm sure it is, and you can do her laundry this weekend.
Yeah. Who knew you would want to do laundry? I never thought that. But yeah. So it's been good, and ready for the next season of life, We did the 24-hour mandatory parenting thing for about 22 years between both kids, and now we're transitioning, and we're stepping into this new season, and I'm liking it. So
awesome.
Yeah,
very cool.
Yeah,
very cool. I love it. And could you say that this is kind of like you stepping out of comfort zone? It's outside of where you were.
Yes, very much. You get used to when you have kids, and you go through the baby stages, and you go through the toddler stages, and you go through all the different stages that your kids take you through. And then you get really comfortable in that. And you get comfortable knowing that your kids are right upstairs, or, they're going to be home at such a time. And right now it's not that. And it's very much out of my comfort zone to be texting my daughter and say, what did you do all day? Where are you right now? What are you doing? But you know what? I believe we've said it here on the show, and you and I both believe it, is growth does not come from comfort zones. Yeah. Not at all. So let me repeat that again for those of y'all in the back of the room. Growth does not, no way, come from comfort zones. You've got to put your big girl panties on. You've got to step out of your comfort zone if you want to achieve a growth mindset. And that's what we're going to talk about tonight. And I'm very excited about this.
We've got Dawn Sylvester with us, and she is, are you ready for this? Okay. She is a wellness coach, a personal trainer, an author, a hairstylist. She has created many, many, many products for women related to aging with strength and nutrition while feeling, moving, and looking great at every age. So yay on that for Tammy and I, because we definitely are going to tap into that. And you could really say that Dawn's really dedicated to her life, to helping women feel the best, both inside and out. So, and she's all about, stepping out, going big, not being scared. But I'll tell you what, guys, it's way easier said than done, which is why we've got Dawn here today.
Wow. Well, welcome to the show, Dawn. We're so excited that you're here.
Thanks, girls. This is so exciting. I love listening to your conversation about your daughter going away. And I know, Alaina, you're in an entirely different spot with your kids. And I have a 24-year-old son who, you talk about those milestones and the growth and the uncomfortable moments. Well, so my son graduated in December from Michigan State University and landed a killer job at an advertising place in downtown Detroit. We live in Michigan, and the Fisher Building which is one of the most iconic buildings in downtown Detroit. And 2 weeks later, COVID hits, and now he's working out of the house, in the house with us. One thing you forgot to mention is my husband and I own a gym. So that's part of the place that I was used to doing my training with my women over 40 and my coaching. So everything is so different. Everything's uncomfortable, and you could sit around crying and whining about it all day, but I'm not a have-not person. I told someone yesterday, I said, I'm not even the glass is half full. I'm the glass is 9/10 of the way full,
That's it. Oh, I love that.
Yeah, I mean, if it's half full, then that means it's half not. And it's half is crappy and half is great. I don't know. I don't like that at all. So that's not me and how I like and how I try to get my mission. And thank you for bringing up that I'm so into making women not be afraid of things. And I'm sure part of it comes from how I was born. I'm the oldest of three, so I'm a take charge person. I think the other thing is I was raised by parents that they're still married. They're 84 and 85. My mom just had her birthday 2 days ago. My dad just had his 85th birthday a month ago. My dad's a successful retired businessman, very driven, very type A plus, very methodical. So that's me. And then my mom is the sweet, accommodating. I wish that was a little more me, but I'm sure I hope I have some of her traits, but definitely more of my father's driven, want to keep going and want to really make something, because I feel like I was already, blessed enough to be given gifts and given opportunities that I can't just, I don't know. I'm sure there's other people too that would sit there and not anything, but my drive keeps me going, and I feel like I'm more driven now than I ever have been to spread my mission and how I feel, how I think women could just feel so much better.
And we love that. I love what you're doing and helping women feel better, especially the over 40 group.
The disappearing woman.
Me.
Alaina's pointing at you.
I'm not there yet.
Yeah. She's close, but not quite there yet. She's got a little more time before she joins our cool club.
Right.
So many. This has been quite a popular topic. I think we've mentioned comfort zones and growth mindsets on the show several times with several different guests, and I've talked to clients about, hey, you need to put the fear away and step out of your comfort zone, and everybody's going through some sort of comfort zone issue right now with COVID. Obviously, and things are
all different levels, and
exactly.
And everyone responds to them differently. And I'm a emotional, kind of reactive person. But since my son's living in the house with us and he's a little more emotional, a little more reactive, I've had to tone it down a notch, which is kind of uncomfortable, but I have to make this work, without losing your personality and without losing what you've always stood for. But there's so many different things, whether that you look at it as an opportunity or a complete bummer. Being a gym owner and being a hairstylist, when COVID hit, I was just like, oh my gosh. I have not any income, and sure, we got some government assistance, but there is still a whole level of, oh my gosh, well, I've got my internet business on the side, which was always an on the side thing.
Right.
And that was a whole nother thing, a whole other way of how I got to where I am right now today, and how my experiences in the last 5 months are exponentially cooler and more empowering and more exciting than at any time in my life. And the weirdest thing is I had 3 phone calls today with people in the internet digital marketing world. All 3 of them were 23 years old.
Wow.
And I'm looking at these young, driven, smart, entrepreneurial type brains and thinking, I am 60 years old and you are 23, and I am looking at and I don't like to use the word kids, but these really intelligent up and comers And it makes me want to drive that much harder because I'm on a mission. I don't have any time to waste. I'm not afraid of anything now. I want to make big connections. I want to make a big impact. I want to help as many people as I can. I think I have a lot to offer. And I think that women sometimes, they get afraid of that because what if it doesn't work? And what if someone is better than me? Or what if someone is younger than me? I even hear myself say that. There's a couple of named brand women in the industry. And I heard myself say this the other day and I was like, stop it, don't say that. You know, someone said something about this person that they thought I was kind of like her. And I was like, yeah, if I was 27, 5'10", blonde with hair extensions and blah, blah. And I was like, okay, that was just really negative. I should have just said, thank you.
Right.
You have a hard time saying thank you when someone compliments them.
So, it's hard to take a compliment. We're so hard on ourselves. So Dawn, and I'd love to maybe backtrack a little bit because, you know, you were mentioning about the gym and then being a hairstylist and stuff like that. So I believe that through all of that, you probably had a little inklings here and there where you're just like, I want to do more. I want to be more. I want to help more.
Oh, yeah.
And so do you have a moment? I mean, obviously COVID really pushed you. It was like kick you in the booty and you're like, get yourself in gear.
Right.
But there's got to be something before then because I know you've been doing a lot of your different stuff alongside of that. Right. But where was that transition period?
Oh, I'll tell you what it was. So I've done hair for 30 years. So I'm sure you know that when you go to your hairdresser, you bare your soul. So people have told me stories I've never asked about. And you know deepest, darkest secrets. And as I got older and doing the same clients for years, went through a little bit of health issues, low thyroid, diagnosed with Hashimoto's autoimmune thyroiditis, which took me forever to be diagnosed because I didn't present like the normal patient, whatever the normal patient is in conventional medicine. That's another 5 hours of conversation. But it seemed like women all had like the same complaints and issues and fatigue. So in my head, I came from relatively active parents and parents that were always adventurous and always going the next step forward, whether it be learning or opening doors to something new or adventure. So in my head, I decided I was going to write a book. On how, and I actually started, on paper, pencil and paper. Yeah. Never touched a laptop, never heard the term blog, webinar. I was in person touching you, whether personal training at people's homes or doing your hair. So very few industries do you actually touch someone and get into that comfort zone of theirs where they are telling you personal things. And so I started writing a book, writing it on paper about empowering women with feeling stronger as they got older. And then I started getting into more weightlifting. And then as time evolved, about 6 years ago, so we opened our gym 8 years ago, but 6 years ago, I started following a couple of pretty big influential people in the internet marketing world, Bedros Keuilian and Craig Ballantyne. And my husband was following them. I was reading emails. I felt like they all spoke to me, and which is obviously great writing and great copy. And I heard about this fitness business summit that my husband said, we have to go to this and you have to do the 1-day mastermind and you've got to present your book. And I was just like, oh my God, that's so scary. No, wait, these guys are, they're not going to pay attention to me. And then I said, we'll go to the fitness business summit with hundreds of people, but I wanted to sit up in the very front because even though I wanted to meet everybody. I did some recon. I wrote down names of who I wanted to connect with. I learned who was in the industry for a long time. And I tried to learn, okay, if I'm going to go there, I'm not just going to spend a couple $100 to go to San Diego, although that sounds fun. I'm going to take away something. I'm going to take away something.
Right. Yeah.
So, they do this great marketing thing where they're on the stage after they've blown every emotion out of you want more, you're more inspired, you can do this. And then they dangle that thing, we've got 5 spots open for people that want to do this 1-day mastermind. If you have an offer that you've never created, you want to get it off the ground. And my husband's like, I brought the credit card, go sign up. And I'm going, what? So I just walked up there.
I love it.
And then joined this mastermind group that I was in for 2 years. met some very influential people. I learned a lot, but as you girls said, most of the women kept leaving the group, and they called it the boys club, and the guys that are successful are the men. And he made me cry, and I was always getting calls, and I was like, well, don't cry in front of them. Call me and cry, but
right.
listen to what they're saying. There's a reason these people are the best at what they do. So they're coaching you. People go to school to learn something. You go to a class to learn how to build something. You
right.
a knitting class, a self-help class. We go to people that know more than us so that they can teach us, right?
Right.
So my thought, and my husband kept urging me, saying, you've got something. And then my personal training clients were like, you've got to do this. You've got to start a blog. And I'm like, a what? And they're like, a web blog. I'm like, I don't even know the computer. Don't you have a desktop? I go, oh, that's the square thing on our phone. That's how far removed from tech I was. That was only 6 years ago or 7 years ago.
That's awesome. What a journey for you.
It really has been. And each next thing that I thought I was a little afraid of, I am not afraid of anything now, because I'm like, I don't have time to be afraid. And the only thing is scary is wishing that you did something and seeing that was last year or the year before, and seeing how far, I don't do the how far I could have been or how much.
Right.
But that doesn't matter. It's like right now, I try to be as accountable and connect with as many people and take as many notes, because you never know what person, not burn a bridge ever. You never know what person that you're going to want to fall back on, be able to help them later, be able to introduce them to somebody. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Now, all of a sudden, I'm the person introducing people, and some pretty big people I've introduced to people they didn't know, because people have that, well, you know everybody, right? No, I've never heard of it.
No, they don't.
No, they don't.
They do.
The world's a pretty big place. So, when you have calls in this internet world, I had a call with someone in the Philippines today, someone in Malaysia, someone in San Diego, someone in Australia. And you're like, wow. And I didn't even know what a blog was before.
But that's awesome.
It is amazing. Okay, so how would you say we get past that fear? Like, how do you get past that? I mean, because there's obviously your story where your husband's just like, get up there, girl.
Yeah. Two things.
How do we get past the fear?
Excellent. Best question ever. And I have two really good, solid answers. And one of them is stop imagining the bad things that can happen, because I don't care if you go back to your wedding day or some huge event in your life, getting your high school diploma. What'd you think? You're going to trip on your shoes and fall on the stage? Everyone thinks those same things.
Yes.
How often does that ever happen? Once in a blue moon on a catwalk on some Instagram thing of some supermodel. It doesn't really ever happen. So all these things that people imagine that could happen, which prevents them from doing something, those things don't really happen. So you've got to first stop imagining that stuff. And then something that really changed my life, and I wish I remembered the person that wrote the book, but it was a book called 10-Minute Toughness. And right before I turned 50, I did a figure competition bodybuilding show. I have never done anything that physical fitness that had a goal at the end of it. Even though I coached marathon runners, I coached triathletes, I coached people that did lots of athletic things. I was a gymnast when I was young. I was a gymnastics coach, but I never did anything that had a goal that you could get a prize at the end. Mm-hmm. So I signed up and hired a coach, a professional coach that coached winners. And I was going to turn 50, and I devoted this 14 weeks of my life to listening to what this coach told me 100%. And so many of my friends were like, oh, good for you. You're doing this just to say you did it. And I'm like, I'm not doing this to say I did it. I'm walking away with the prize. If I have to get up in a bikini this big at 50 years old on a stage, and mind you, all these people were in their 20s and 30s. So I was going to be in a category that most people don't even dare do this. So that was a little intriguing. But let me tell you, dropping that sign-up sheet in the mailbox, I thought I was going to die when I dropped it in. I wanted to get in the mailbox and take it out because I thought I must have lost my mind. But back to the book, 10-Minute Toughness. It was written by
Jason Silk.
Oh, I was going to say, I think his name is Jason. Okay, Jason Silk.
Jason Silk.
And he was, I believe, an NFL quarterback that won a bunch of Super Bowls. Sorry, sports people, I don't know sports. But what I do know is he coached every kind of person in the world, from Olympic athletes to CEOs of companies, how to go through 3 different options of visualizing a positive outcome.
Mm-hmm.
So when I did this bodybuilding show, I read these chapters, and the one that spoke to me was visualizing this screen of the perfect outcome. And you do this every night before you go to bed, almost like a meditational, but not really meditating. I'm too spazzy to meditate. Probably means I need it 100 times more. But it really made me realize that my way to focus would be visualizing me walking across the stage in my perfect poses, under the lights, not going to wipe out in my really high heel shoes, loaded up with grease that I fell in someone else's thing on the stage. All those things that I thought could have, people weren't going to laugh at me. My bathing suit wasn't going to come undone. So I visualized all these positive things, and I walked away with 2 trophies. And I really owe that finding the coaching of what I wanted to do and how it was going to get me in a different mindset, and how it was going to force me to succeed instead of make me realize all the bad things that could prevent me from getting better. So I often reflect, I let someone borrow that book. I bought it again. I gave it to someone else. I should just buy a bunch of them.
And just give them away.
But it doesn't matter, because I still go back to that reel of visualizing the best outcome in a lot of different scenarios. It doesn't matter what it is, business or meeting, going on a first date, or going in a job interview, or walking in front of the most internet influencer and just walking up and saying, "Hi, I've been following you for 5 years." So I did have a plan that when I met one of these 2 people, I had this vision in my head. I was so excited to meet him. I thought I'd be a nervous wreck. And I told my husband, I'm just going to be me. And being me means I'm going to run up and probably wrap my arms around him and hug him and say, "I've been a fan of yours for years. I'm so excited to be in the same room." That did not happen at all, because he was a complete introvert. And I've learned much more about this one person in that group years later, but would not have worked for him at all. And I felt that the minute that person walked into the room. So I sat back, and for a moment I felt like my dream was shattered. But then I thought, wait a minute, so what? That's not what I'm here. I'm not here to deliver the hug. I'm here to learn from this person. So let that thing go away and go back to this is why you're here.
Right. And that strategy that you talked about, so many high-level premium athletes, Olympians, have used that same strategy. I think, and celebrities and people who want to break into the music industry. I think there was a story about Beyonce visualized her winning. I don't know if it was a Grammy or whatever, but she visualized that moment every day until it finally happened.
Sure.
And that's a great strategy.
And does your brain trail off and go, "Oh yeah, well, even though I already got up there to accept my award, that's when I wiped out in front with the," like, so you have to, you just make it lesser and lesser scary. And then at the end of the day, when you did that one thing that scared the crap out of you for so long, you almost didn't do it. You're like, "Oh, please bring on the next challenge."
Right. Exactly.
And then, within reason, there's people that think now, "Oh my gosh, you did that. Now you can do this." I'm like, no. There are limits to my things that I will do, but not because of not being afraid emotionally or mentally that I won't be good enough. Not like that.
Right. And
I like. Go ahead, Tammy.
No. I was just going to say that one of the things that I think about is when I feel that fear creeping up inside of me, and I go, "Who cares? I don't care what you think. I don't care what Melissa from freshman year at Mount Carmel Academy in New Orleans, Louisiana." There is no Melissa. I'm just saying.
I was going to say, Melissa.
Who cares what she thinks now? We're in our 40s now. Who cares?
Right.
It's me, and these are my goals, and these are my dreams, and the only person that's going to make them happen is me.
Right.
I mean, there might be other people that help me along the way, but at the end of the day, it's only me that's going to get me to those moments where I'm walking across the stage, or I'm giving that speech in front of hundreds of people, or eventually writing a book. But
or sitting down with Gary Vee and interviewing him.
Yes.
Whoa, I know Gary Vee.
That is my goal.
A little heart palpitation right there. Right.
In his office, on the Gary Vee show interviewing. Yeah. It'll happen one day. It will.
It will. And I love that there's two different mindsets going on here. The one, when you feel the fear and the negativity creep up, it is, nope, I'm going to be in the here and now.
Right.
I need to be present. I need to be where my feet are. But then the other one, when it's positive and it's towards your goals, that you do cast that vision, that you visualize where you're at. So you leave the here and now and you go to that positive place and feel the emotions and you're like, oh, that's going to be so amazing. So I love that too, the two parts of just, because I think that right there is where you get past the fear, is recognize what the fears are and be aware of it. And now, okay, if it's negative, nope, it's not happening. I'm safe. I'm working on things.
Mm-hmm.
But then being able to visualize and go with the dream. So I love that flip-flop there.
Alaina, you just made me think of a whole other aspect of coaching women, and especially because I'm used to doing coaching in our gym. I do, nutrition consulting, and I try to coach women to eat for energy. I don't let people talk. I mean, sure, everyone's goal, almost everyone that ever hires me or comes to me or finds out about me wants to lose weight. I never let the conversation be about that. I drive away from that because I am coaching a girl right now. She's absolutely amazing. I said to her, wow, I've been doing this for 20 years. Either I'm doing something right for the first time or you really heard me. And you almost have to be, I think before I used to be very calm and sweet and ask a lot of questions and ask what the goals were, where now my first thing I say is, in order for you to change anything in your life, you've got to change your mind first. Because we have a set thing, a script in our head that goes on, that little voice in our head all the time. And the older we are, the longer that script has been there. And whether it was our mother telling us something or ourself or some imaginary thing that never really happened, but we still have that voice, that's how I feel so many women live. So I have to be a combination of a little tough love. And I ask people, I say, I'm looking at your MyFitnessPal and I'm looking at all the information you sent me. Am I allowed to go a little tough love and be 100% transparent? And so almost all of them are like, sure. Say, no,
not really, but sure.
They'll say, no, I'm not ready for that. My husband already tells me this, or my mom's been telling me for years I'll never put on another. So all of a sudden the tears come. So you really have to be able to gauge, even though I feel a certain way and I feel like, oh, girl, put on your big girl panties. And, who cares what people think? That's not how everyone thinks. That's not how they were raised. And that's what that voice inside their head says. So I've really learned a lot, and especially through COVID, because I'm coaching people on my computer screen and like this is my connection, where I put a hand on someone's leg or touching their hand when I'm talking to them for that comfortable feeling. And now I'm just like, I'm talking to the dot, making sure I'm not looking down here the whole time I'm talking to you guys. It's just like, it's just so different, and you have to be able to evolve with things, and you have to get into someone else's space and see what do they need, So it's so interesting. This has changed so much about people's fears.
It has. It really has.
It has. So okay, so you just were talking about this woman that you're working with, and I know that you have a special program for women that is too tired to exercise. Yeah. They're not happy with the way they look or feel, and a lot of it is usually about weight and everything else. So can you tell us a little bit about that?
Sure. That's one of the offers I created with my group years ago. And the most successful one, I think the easiest, and it's the best for the times right now, is called 7-Minute Ageless Body Secret. It's 7-minute workouts. You do them at home. It's a short burst of muscle movements, working your largest muscles in a certain order that burns the most calories in the least amount of time, but has something that creates the afterburn, which means you can run on a treadmill for an hour. When you get off the treadmill, you're kind of done. This type of workout, you're using your biggest muscles in a certain movement pattern that gets your heart rate going. You get a little bit of cardio. You're working the muscles. You want to build muscle as we age. I could spend another day, 24 hours, just talking about that alone. That we are so stuck in eating less and omitting foods. So my 7-minute Ageless Body Secret is a workout program for even the most tired woman. You don't need to go to a gym, since we probably can't right now anyways, or you're afraid to and you want to stay at home. It's 3 beginner, intermediate, and advanced workouts. When you get stronger and get more adapted to the workouts, you can do them 3 times. And then there is an option to get a 21-day ageless energy meal plan. It's not a diet. It's not omitting entire food groups. It doesn't really name. It's eating for energy, superfoods for the superwoman that you want to be. Superfoods with super benefits. It's like when I coach people with nutrition, everyone wants to ask what they're allowed to eat and what do they have to take out, and am I allowed to drink wine? And I focus to be, let's think about all the things you're missing. You're missing fiber. You're missing nutrient density. You're missing happiness. You're missing that idea that if you drink a glass of wine, you have to beat yourself up after, say it's going to go straight to your hips. You take a bite of all this negative feedback that puts women in the same place they have been forever. And that is the biggest challenge. So I usually have people and it goes with my super meal plan that is basically adding a lot of vegetables. They have a lot of fruit. You're not going to get fat eating fruit. Everyone says, I thought fruit has sugar in it. I'm like, oh my gosh. So I've heard the same things for 25 years from women from the ages of 20 to 70. So that's what I mean with changing the mindset of eating for energy, working out with something that makes a difference, not going for hours as hard as you can and lifting super, super heavy weights. It's just doing beneficial workouts that make you feel good, that you feel a little sore the next day. You know what your buns feel like when they're sore. You know what the back of your arms feels like when it's sore. It's not like some Superman feats of, weightlifting. It's super doable. I guess you just use the word super a lot, right? Super foods, super benefits, super moms.
Super awesome.
Batman sign with a star underneath or something. That's funny.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah. So, and that's 7-minute Ageless
Body Secret. Right. I have a blog that I write, and so my blog is called constantenergyfitness.com. So back to energy, women wish they had more energy. When you have more energy, you can cook healthier. When you have more energy, you want to exercise. When you have more energy, you're in a better mood. So I talk a lot about energy, and I think I used to not have a lot of it, and I used to beat myself up physically and do all the diet things and low fat, and it was named healthy and natural, and I was miserable then. And that was before I even knew that I had a thyroid issue. So I feel like such a different person that maybe that's why I feel like I have to make up for lost time and go big and go fast and go hard,
Yeah, but I think everybody can benefit from this, whether it's the mindset portion of it, or if it's eating better so you feel healthier.
Right. Moving. That's the other thing right now. Our bodies are meant to move. Yeah. I've never been so sedentary in my life. So I always used to kind of say, that little wrist gadget that says how many steps you take, that's just, you can walk to the break room at work 100 times and get a donut and you made in your 10,000 steps. But then I started listening to people saying, I never even get close to 5,000. So my husband bought me one because I said, I'm just curious. I mean, I don't considering just taking steps a way to be healthier, but at this point in our lives where we're living on our laptops and teaching our kids how to do Zoom classes and we're running our business from our den and then we binge watch at night, I kind of want to know at the end of the night, did I even move at all? And then even at I think I didn't move at all, I'm at 8,000 or 9,000 steps. My days that I was at the hair salon or at the gym coaching people, my average was about 13,000 to 15,000 steps a day. And I don't consider that a workout. I don't consider that a workout. I just consider that your body shouldn't be sitting very much.
Right. So, I mean, if you're out there listening, get up and move your body. I think they say for at least 30 minutes a day, right?
Yeah, and
and you can do anything.
It doesn't have to be all at 30 minutes, though. So what I do now that I'm home on my laptop is I set my timer. Every half hour, I get up and I might, for 3 minutes, I might do some downward dogs. I might go grab my 10-pound dumbbells and do 5 squats and some mock push-ups on the wall. I might do 10 body weight squats into the chair. Whatever it is, because I've been sitting so long, my heart rate goes up. Doesn't matter how conditioned you are or not. Do I call that a workout? No, but it's not being sedentary. People have this thing that it has to be 1,000 miles an hour. It has to have this increment. It's got to be a named diet. Every little one step that you do towards health, whether I go around the block one time with my dog, and I've done that. I'm like, oh my gosh, my poor dog. She sat there all day, kind of too tired, but you know what? It's going to be good for her. It's going to be good for me. And I'm going to feel great at the end of it. I'm just going to do one walk around the block. Then I come home and I'm like, now I'm not tired anymore.
Right. Right. Yeah. You get the blood pumping and your body starts moving and everybody go out and do 30 minutes. Let's go.
Right. Blood flow to your brain. Done. I mean, sitting in a dark room without the fresh air and with the mask on when you leave the house and all these things, that part's not healthy. I mean,
right. Yeah.
I'm not saying I don't advocate a mask or anything like that, but just, breathing through a mask when I'm at the salon. I talk a lot and I'm in the business where people want to talk. So mask, I'm in my little fishbowl with my plexiglass up next to me. And I'm just like, this is difficult. Wow. People that have breathing issues, that makes me think people that are healthy. You got to boost your immune system now while you're healthy so that you're not afraid of viruses.
Right.
And obviously there's so much that we don't know, but again, it's the fear of the unknown. So I feel pretty comfortable right now because I've spent 25 years boosting my immune system and trying to stay moving and trying to get my lungs working at their best. I'm not a marathon runner. I mean, I always make the joke that people ask me, how far do I run? I say, I only run at gunpoint, I'm not a runner, but I'm not sedentary.
Right. I love it. Okay, so let's do some rapid fire time. It's one of my favorite parts of the show.
Ooh, what does that mean?
All right, so let's go. So I'll do the first question. What is your preference, the beach or the mountains?
The beach.
You're my kind of girl. I love it.
Next to the mountain. Next to the mountain.
Right.
All right. Next question. Favorite thing to do to relax?
Ooh, read a book. Lay in my bed and read a book with ice water and lemon with ginger in it.
Oh, I like that idea.
Or sit on my screened-in porch with a glass of wine reading a book. So it's both reading a book, though.
Okay. Do you have a favorite podcast?
I listen to people talk all day long, and I talk all day long, so I prefer to read or listen to calming music.
There you go. Okay, Alaina.
So we'll just say that your favorite podcast is the Business and Learning Show.
I was just going to say, but I know that was the wrong answer, and I will go back and say it, the Business and Learning Show.
There you go.
All right. So Dawn, what did you want to be when you grew up?
I wanted to be an anthropologist.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't know when the last time anybody ever asked me that. I thought fossils and dinosaurs in Egypt, and I don't know, these are the things coming to my head right now. When I was in third grade, my mom said that I told everybody I was going to be an anthropologist. And I don't know if I thought I was cool saying that big word, but I do remember thinking, like, if I got in an airplane and went to Egypt and dug up really cool fossils, that it would be so cool. That's probably nothing at all throughout the years of what anything transpired into be. So I don't know how short-lived that thought was, but that was it.
Okay, so you're going out for dinner. What is your favorite local meal?
Ooh, that's a good one. So there's a local place. It's got farm-to-table food. They have something on it. It's a grilled chicken with kimchi and a really spicy sauce. So you've got the crunchy kimchi. You've got the super spicy sauce. And this chicken they have like shredded lettuce on it. And it's healthy, but the flavor is, I'm like a flavor maniac. People always think that when you eat healthy, you don't like flavor. I have overdeveloped taste buds, I will tell you that. So I love that. And yeah, that would be my favorite go-to meal. Yeah.
That sounds really good because I grew up in New Orleans. So I am all about the spicy and the flavorful. And you don't always get that in the Midwest.
No, you don't. People, when you ask if you have any hot sauce or do you have any seasoning, they give you the salt and pepper.
So is that restaurant in Detroit?
It is in Berkeley, actually.
Okay. Oh,
it's on the Berkeley Common. So That's
Cool.
a really cool, a young couple owns it. As a matter of fact, my son's going to go and apply for a job there tonight. Yeah.
Good deal.
He has his full-time good house job, but he wants to get out and be around people his own age, get away from us. They set up this cool area outside. It looks like it's a little tiki area.
Oh, neat.
So you're out, and he always teases me. We've been there like 3 times in the last 2 weeks because it's close. We can walk there. And he says, I know, Mom, you're going to say the same thing. It feels like we're out of town. I said, I wish I was out of town. They set it up, and they're such cool people. The owners are always there. So, that business owner is there taking care of you, asking you about yourself. I mean, I don't know. I like those small business owners that are there and making people happy. The ones that are kind of on the sidelines and that you never see, that they have, unless they have one hell of a manager or someone that they've delegated the top job to. Those are the places that I think will thrive, and those are the places I want to promote and I want to support.
Right, and that's what we do here is promote those small business owners that are putting the blood, sweat, and tears into their business to keep it going and to sustain it.
Right. And that's our gym. We own a small gym, Michigan Kettlebell. So I mean, it's a very small niche kettlebell gym. Mm-hmm. Our clients love us. That's my husband's baby, but it's.
Right.
Yay for small businesses, though.
Yes, definitely.
Hard now, but
yeah.
Absolutely. All right. So what is your favorite TV family?
Oh, I was hoping you weren't going to ask me anything about TV. Oh, my gosh.
or Netflix.
Okay, or Netflix. Oh, my gosh. Okay, so you won't believe what I say off the top of my head. This is... Don't click off, people. I love Sons of Anarchy. No, I'm not a biker chick, but that passion in that family. I know there's a whole lot of negative and a lot of bad stuff, but that family, man, when you love your family and you stick up for your family, and I don't care if it's bikers are not really like that or whatever. I know I've had tons of people telling me that. I know it's Hollywood. I got it. But, I don't know. The family and the dynamics and all that stuff was just super interesting. I'll probably think of 100 that I should have answered after this, but I don't know why that came to me as a family. Biker family, who knows?
Yeah. Alaina, what is yours?
Yeah, right.
I love The Facts of Life.
I've never watched that. I know people.
She's got chickens named after the Facts of Life characters.
Oh.
Or some of them. Some of them.
Yeah.
What about you, Tammy?
Oh, it's not technically a family, but I would want to be with the Golden Girls.
Oh, cute. See, those are TV shows, though. So I was
totally family.
Yeah.
Yes, they are family. But I would love to live in that house and just.
How hilarious! Look how three total opposites. It's funny. I don't even know how that came out of my mouth. That as a family, that was my favorite TV family.
Yeah.
Hey, that's all about rapid fire. So I have one question for you, Dawn. This is not rapid fire, but if I want to ask you, because you kind of went into a lot of this about 6 years ago, and this is our last question before we wrap up today. So if you could go back 10 years and tell yourself something, what would it be?
Stop thinking about writing a book and stop thinking about how you would go about it and if you could afford it and if anyone would read it. It would be get it on paper and talk to the influential people that will make it happen and learn from them. Spend that little bit of extra money. Don't look online for the cheapest one. Go to the top. Go really big and then say yes. Then I say yes to a lot of things now and then wonder later, how am I going to do that? I've never done that. I said yes. I act like I know what I'm talking about. And then I figured it out. Mm-hmm. Because now I'm not afraid to try something new. So that would be very easy to answer that question.
Right. Awesome. Well, Dawn, thank you so much for being on the show. If you guys want to check out or find out more information about Dawn, you can find her on Instagram at Constant Energy Dawn. Thank you again for being on the show tonight. It's been a blast.
Thanks. You guys have been a blast. This is too much fun.
Thank you. This has been awesome. Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh, that was so fun. I love Dawn. I love her.
I know. I'm gonna have to reach out to her for this, over 40 stuff, because because I need help, y'all. Anyway, but that's about all the time that we have for tonight. So thank you so much for joining us on the Business and Learning Show. Of course, we would like to thank our special guest, Dawn Sylvester, for her insight, tips, and of course, her time today. So
thanks so much, guys. We'll see you next week.
Okay, bye.
Bye.